All right, friends, so this is the last of the 3 readings. I hope that the first 2 readings have been helpful, messages have been helpful. And this last reading is for those who are on a level of spiritual ascension. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, the definition that Spirit is speaking to me is that there are those of us who have gone through the stage of awakening, who have come to the point of being spiritually conscious through whatever experiences, events, relationships that have taken place in our lives. And there are those who are committed to raising themselves to a level of spirituality where they have no worries, right? They have no concerns. They understand. Now, not talking about the human side, because it is human nature to be concerned about our lives, about our loved ones, about the state of the world, right? But those who are in the process of spiritual ascension know that God is with them at all times. Okay? Know that no matter what comes, no matter what happens, that they put their faith in Spirit to carry them. Okay? An example for this that I'm seeing, right, in my mind's eye right now, is we all know that story about the person who went through many, many trials and many tribulations and saw one set of footprints in the sand, right, as they went along this journey. And after they went through all of, the pain, heartache, obstacles, difficulties, everything they went through on a human level, they cried to God and said, God, where were you when I was going through all of this by myself? And the response from God is that those footsteps in the sand, those footprints in the sand, those were my footprints. I was carrying you. Okay? So that analogy, meaning that, taking it a step from there, those in spiritual ascension know that God is carrying them at all times. Okay? They may fear, but their faith is greater than their fear. Okay? And this is not to say that we all don't go backwards, right? Those of us who are awakening, can sometimes allow ourselves to be in a state where we don't want to believe anything beyond what we can see with our 2 eyes. And those of us who are conscious, can go backwards, doubting what we've already experienced to be faith and to be miracles and to be Spirit working in our lives. And of course, those who are on a level of spiritual ascension, we see that many times. Before something miraculously happens in our lives, we go through a period of pain, heartache, loss, doubt. But we still hold on to the understanding that we are co-creators with Spirit. And that understanding that we are co-creators, for me, that is the message, that's the confirmation that we know we are on a journey of ascension. We are at that level. right? We understand that there is something greater than us, but that we are one with that energy to be co-creators in our lives. He said, what I have done, you will do greater, or you will do more. All right? And one of our greatest ascended masters said that. So let's go ahead and see what the message is here for those in spiritual ascension. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, messages for those spiritual ascension. Resistance, right? Some resistance. That's okay. Alright. Spiritual ascension. Let's see. Okay. Alright, so the oracle says the gentle. The gentle. I'm going to just read the words on this oracle card. Penetrating, a soft approach, faith, sorry I had it in the shadow there, faith, moderation, a subtle but deep influence, understanding, nonviolent. So for what stands out for me in this card are two things, right? Faith and a subtle but deep influence. So the message that I have here is that those of us who are in spiritual ascension, we must be gentle with ourselves. Okay? You must be gentle with yourselves. You have to understand that it's not going to be easy elevating your vibrations, elevating your energy, ascending to a higher level of spiritual understanding, enlightenment, right? Enlightenment, light shining within us. So, because Earth is hard, right? Living on Earth is not easy. We face obstacles every day. We face tests every day. But there is a need to have faith. Have faith that what you're experiencing is what you need to learn to raise your vibrational energies and help you raise the energies of those around you in all situations. So for me, a soft approach, a gentle approach with the people that you meet, with the people that come into your life. Non-violence is here. You know, I mean, I think of, when I read non-violence, I think of Reverend Martin Luther King. Who was by no means a perfect man, right? But through a movement, he changed the course of history. He changed human relations. He changed mankind and the way that people deal with each other and deal with conflict and deal with injustice and social injustices, social inequities. Now, some may not agree with that, okay? That might not be a it might not be an approved approach by many who see that things must be changed by force. But those who act in faith know that change will come, and that eventually we all have to ascend to the same plane, right? All of us, in order for humanity to move to the next level of understanding, of treating each other fairly, of treating each other justly, of being humane toward each other, okay, with dignity, of respecting each other's lives. And so those of us who are in spiritual ascension, we have to be this influence. Okay, we have to exercise this influence in whatever situations we're in. We have to be the energy that takes the soft approach, that does things in moderation, okay, that keeps our control, keeps our temper, controls our reactions, doesn't let others pull us out of our core, out of our center, out of our spiritual balance, right? Understanding the workings of what's going on, and have faith that spirit will support us and protect us and give us the strength that we need in order to navigate this world and navigate the experiences that are on us and that we encounter, right? A subtle but deep influence, okay? Knowing that spirit is there, that God is there, that it's very subtle, right? It's very subtle, the difference between one action and the other, okay? You know, you're faced with a situation and you have a choice to react one way or the other. Which way do you react? It's a very subtle change that can mean one extreme or the other, but it can have such profound ramifications, such profound outcomes. What do we choose? For me, this person, I'm sorry for the shadows, for me, this person, this woman, she is enveloped by some kind of coat. It looks like thinking of Technicolor Dreamcoat, right? Joseph Technicolor Dreamcoat. But this robe that she's wearing, to me, feels like the robe of spirit, right? That those of us who are in spiritual ascension are clothed by spirit, right? We wear the garment of spirit. We wear the protection of the Creator. We walk in spirit, right? God walks with us. God cloaks us. God covers us. You know, there are flowers, there are stars there. You know, we walk in faith is what I'm hearing. So those of us who are at spiritual ascension must walk in faith. That's the bottom line. That's the ultimate message. All right, let's see. The Tower. Wow. So for me here, in relation to, these messages is that the Tower, things are going to test us. We are going to be tested. There's no question. Things that are outside of our control, events, situations, people, whether they be intimate, whether they be personal, global, right? Things may come out of the blue to knock us out of balance. Okay? To test us to see exactly where we are in our spiritual journey. Right? When the lightning strikes, and in our lives, lightning always strikes, as humanity is facing a lightning strike of global proportions right now, how are we going to react? How are we going to react when we deal with people that trigger us or try to trigger us? When we deal with situations that shatter our peace and our balance and throw us off balance and rock the foundations of our lives that we have depended on, right? But as spiritual beings, we can't be attached. We cannot be attached. We have to continually maintain balance because things are going to happen. Okay? Whether it's natural occurrences or unnatural occurrences, human or outside of the plane of human actions, there will always be things to shake us. How do we react? Do we react in faith? Do we react with a moderate, soft approach? Do we react with the understanding of what's actually happening here, looking behind the veil and seeing it from a 5D perspective and not just a 3D perspective, understanding that there is a lesson in everything, right? Or do we go backwards in our path here, right? And ultimately, the tarot is about a journey, right? It's about the fool's journey. So he starts at 0. He doesn't even start at 1. He starts at 0, which is nothingness, right? No expectations, happy-go-lucky. Flip side of that is foolish, not expectations, but foolish naivete, right? And she goes through all the path, the fool's path, all the way through the experiences to the world, which is the final card. Creating a life, going through that cycle. Astrologically, starting at Aries, going from Aries, experiencing all of the signs, Aries, the newborn. Taurus, the toddler, Gemini, the child, Cancer, going all the way through to Pisces, the old soul, who has lived all these experiences, who can empathize with everyone because they have been through all these journeys. They have been through the journey and had all the experience from Aries to Pisces, right? From the fool to the world. The messenger of air. So this is the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords traditionally is someone who is going to test you, okay? It's just interesting. The energy here it's telling a story, right? So the Knight of Swords can be a very immature energy, usually moves very quickly. Most of the time, the energy from the Knight of Swords it can create conflict. It can also create, it's an intellectual thing, right? So it's verbal. People using their words, verbal attacks, messages that you really don't want to hear, people who want to trigger you. Definitely. So you have the Tower here and you have the Messenger of Air. So those of us on a spiritual ascension, we are going to be tested. We're going to be tested by people around us. We're going to be tested by developments that may happen very quickly. Okay? Again, Tower is, unforeseen events. The Knight of Swords is things that happen very quickly, come in very quickly, and, it's mental energy. So, mess with our heads, maybe give us anxiety, give us stress, okay? Could be the energy on a personal level, air energy, so Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. Right? It could be someone in your life who can be on the negative side, who can be thoughtless, okay? Who just likes to get you going, right? Likes to stir things up, okay? Could be an immature energy as well, because it's a knight, male or female, or just energy. And then we have the Seven of Swords. Right? So many of us on a spiritual journey, on a journey of spiritual ascension, we've dealt with the rug being pulled out from underneath us, people, situations that have caused us mental anguish and have even betrayed us, right? Or who were someone other or something other than we thought they were. Whether it's a person, a situation. Some of us are surrounded by a lot of chitter chatter, gossip, people around us, whether it's people that we deal with, so-called friends, associates, co-workers, family members even, right? Part of our brood, who can cause us a lot of stress because they are not who we want them to be or not who we think they are, right? They act one way when they're with us, but when they're not with us, they act like something else. There could be lies here. There could be deceit. There could be people, telling you what they think you want to hear when they're actually acting in a different way. Okay? So, but the thing here for me is that this is mental energy. This is communication. This is, things being said to you that are not necessarily true. Lies, deceit. So how do we react to that? Well, we're going to be tested. We're going to be tested in order to see how we react to these things, how we react to these triggers. And some of us will be able to deal with it in a non-violent, and not just talking about physical, but non-violent in the sense of our thoughts, right? Staying focused on who we are and staying centered on our spiritual strength, and not letting these people, knowing that God will take care of it. Okay? The Creator brings to me what I put out, the energy that I put out there. And understanding that these people, they have their own path that they have to walk. They have nothing to do with me. I'm walking my path and they're walking in theirs. Okay? Some of you may have to act the part. Okay? Some of you may have to center yourselves and not allow them to see you sweat. Okay? Not engage. Do not engage, right? Because you have wings here. And this is an ongoing theme here. You have wings to carry you. And that's what this figure has. You know, even though she's surrounded by, I keep getting the word cacophony of noise and comments and opinions, she has wings to fly away from this. And the wings here for me are angelic. They're spiritual. They're the wings that God gives you to rise above this material plane. To choose to remain centered despite what's going on around you. This may not be people. It just may be events, you know, like what's going on right now. There's uncertainty. We're getting messages, right? Messenger of the air, messages online, on television, that are coming from left and right. We don't know who's wearing a mask. We don't know what's true. We don't know who to believe. Right? We have ideas flying in from here, comments flying in from there, commentary flying in from there. This person, your cousin that's calling you, your friend that's sending you text messages, somebody that's emailing you. There's just too much going on. It's too much. So what do? You exercise moderation. Okay. You allow spirit to envelop you and to protect you from all of that static. I'm getting the word that came to me right now is electromagnetic energy. Okay? So feeling like the electromagnetic energy that comes through our devices, the television, all of these sources can short circuit the messages from spirit. So we need to cloak ourselves, right? We need to go into a prayerful state, into a meditative state. We need to be able to spend time alone so that we can focus on ascension, so that we can quiet all those voices. Now, no one's telling you to bury your head in the sand, of course, okay? We're not going to bury our head in the sand. We're going to, see what's going on, check in as is comfortable for you, with the information that's coming in, with your loved ones, whatever. But then we need to cloak ourselves so that we can continue to focus on our ascension. And it's through that we can pull those behind us who are growing, who are awakening, who are becoming conscious, who are conscious and now trying to move to the next level, so that we can be that penetrating, subtle influence to them. Right? Those of you who have intuitive gifts, those of you who, again, might be readers, might be intuitives, might be healers, might be pastors, might be counselors, might be guides, teachers, I'm getting, right? Who's more important right now to our children's ascension, right? Than teachers right now. So we all have our gifts. Have you discovered what your gift is? Take one more card here. One more card. One more card for spiritual ascension. Spiritual ascension. was just speaking about gifts. One more card for those spiritual ascension. All right. So, major arcana. The Emperor. The Emperor. All right. So the first thing that draws me to this card of the Emperor is the eye in the triangle here in the middle of this card. I'm so sorry that it's blurring, but this is a throne, and on this throne is the tree of life. Above the tree of life is the third eye, two swords, and then horns here, right? The Emperor. So for me, again, the Emperor is another Aries card, okay? The Emperor is in command. So it's interesting here because the oracle message talks about non-violence, right? And a subtle, penetrating influence. The Emperor is the father card to me, right? The patriarch, okay? The Emperor, in his greatest definition, his greatest level, is a benevolent ruler, benevolent king, an emperor. He's a warrior, but he has attained so much wisdom, such wisdom in battle, through years, through experience, through age, through governing, that he oversees his kingdom with power, but also in peace. Okay? He has gained such a level of respect that he's followed. He's a benevolent ruler. Okay? He could wage war if he wanted to. He has weapons. He has an army. But he also understands the meaning of the tree of life. He understands that we are all connected by all the branches, right? We're all branches from the same tree, from the Creator. We're all branches and leaves off of the tree of life. He understands the lessons of those who have come before him, his ancestors, rulers before him, emperors, kings, queens. He understands his family, his family tree, his descendants, right? He knows his history. He knows his people. So for me, those who are in spiritual ascension understand the power that they possess, that they hold. The third eye is here, so it is an awakening. Your eye is wide open. Okay, your third eye is wide open. You are a direct channel. These horns coming out of behind the throne for me are that spiritual, that flow of energy, of spirit, of wisdom, of understanding, of spiritual knowledge that is flowing through from the top of our heads, right? When we decide to plant ourselves, it flows in from the top of our heads down to the bottom of our feet. You know, I've done meditations where I visualize the energy coming from heavens down through my head, through my body, out my feet, and spiraling up again in the same direction on both sides. So for me, that's what this is. And so those who are in spiritual ascension understand, they respect the throne, they respect the Creator, they respect the influence of God, they know that they are co-creator, as I said, with Spirit, and they are able to build new foundations. So it doesn't matter that the tower has come and shaken, their kingdom, their fortress, their home, their foundations. Ultimately, it doesn't matter, because you know why? They can rebuild. They have the knowledge, the wisdom, the groundedness. They're grounded. They can rebuild. They have all the tools they need. They have the understanding of who they are and where they come from. They have this solid seat to sit on, right? They have the third eye wide open to receive and to see clearly, to see behind the veil. They have these swords to cut through falsehood, right? And they have the constant flow of energy and the constant flow of spiritual inspiration, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, enlightenment, Akashic records, prayer, meditation, all of this, all of these tools they have at their hands in order to rebuild, to build a new life, to build a new foundation, a new kingdom. And the Emperor is very much material as well, okay? The Emperor is not just spiritual. The Emperor knows how to bring peace, because he's been through war and he's battle-hardened, but he has moved to a level of understanding where he understands that the greatest thing is peace. The greatest strength is to be able to rule with nonviolence and to make decisions supported by faith. Doing so, he influences all of those around him. So that has been the reading. I hope that this reading has been of some help to you, some support. If you like this reading, please like this video. If you'd like to, subscribe, share it, and I hope to be back soon with some more readings, possibly specific to the sign, maybe twin flame readings as well. And as always, I wish you all good things, love, peace, joy, happiness. I ask God to watch over and protect all of those watching this video, all of your loved ones. I ask Spirit to protect and watch over all of those who are working for our communities, for our country, for this world. The healers, the protectors, the supporters. For you, no matter what level of spiritual growth you are on, you're all welcome. Everyone is welcome to my channel and this community. And I send blessings and peace, strength and power to all of the readers who are working to help and to be supportive to our community at this difficult time. Sending you all love, and I bid you all Namaste.